अच्छा जी, अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन. Let's begin our session after a break. This chart is important for your quiz that will be of 20 marks. Communicate कर दें formally. That will be of 20 marks. That may include numericals, but I have not decided. That may include numerical. So prepare both way. Okay, this is the table. This table is telling you the difference in the different comparative advantage. What are the different operation strategies? So these are the product selection and design. How would the product selection and design different in the differentiation strategy than the low cost strategy? How the quality would be different, how the process would be different, location, layout, etc. would be different in the differentiation and the low cost strategy. So read it out. It's a pharmaceutical industry and both are the pharmaceutical companies. So there's a difference between them. So this table is very, very important for your exam. I might give you true, false or MCQs like that from this kind of chart. ठीक है? For example, I may give you that low return and investment, low research and development investment, low research and development investment, focus on development of generic drugs. ठीक है? So I might give you in the low cost strategy there will be low research and development investment. ठीक है? तो आपने you will have to find either it is true or false like that. I will be giving you. So for that you need to read it. This is one of the very important chart. ठीक है? Remember. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Take it out. This, yes. Next. Achha, now we are about to discuss about the outsourcing. Next. Move. Slow. This one. Expand karo. Achha ji, this table is also very important. It is telling you about the outsourcing, how the outsourcing is advantages and disadvantages. As we already discussed, up karo usko. I am just about to share the example of outsourcing. Up, idhar niche nahi, down karo, down. Up. बस और ऊपर करो. अप और बस. अच्छा जी, और ऊपर करें. और ऊपर करें. और बस इधर करें. अच्छा जी, राइट इट डाउन द डेफिनेशन ऑफ आउटसोर्सिंग. लास्ट टाइम है आपकी. This is the definition of outsourcing. इधर करो, इसको फोकस. Okay, write it down. Write down. Transferring a firm's activities that have traditionally been internal to external suppliers. Transferring, I am writing it out. Transferring a firm's activities that have traditionally been internal to external. ठीक है? So basically you transfer the activities. Internal means the activities which you are doing by your own. You are doing by own, but now you are transferring it to another party. That is the definition of the outsourcing. जी? Okay. आगे move head down. Slow. जाओ. Yes. Yes. बस अच्छा, these are the examples के DuPont's legal services routed to Philippines. आप देखते हैं कि call center services, most of the call center services are given to the Southeast Asian countries, especially the Far East countries, the Philippines, okay, the India, Bangladesh, Pakistan and the other countries. So basically, likewise, the DuPont's legal services routed to Philippines. ठीक है, IBM's handling of travel services and payroll of provision to PNG. ठीक है, production of Audi and Mercedes in Germany. Okay, Blue Cross sending his resurfacing surgery patients to India. So basically, its companies are outsourcing the activities which are not their core competency actually. They want to focus on the different activities and they want to improve the competitive advantage, the performance at competitive advantage. They want to improve the performance of key success factors which we identified, key success factor. They want to improve the key success factor performance. For that, they have given the activities, the supporting activities we discussed in the before break. So what they do, they outsource. When they outsource, so what happen? The activities is done by the another company, and they are free for the core activities. अच्छा जी, interesting concept. The outsourcing concept starts from the theory of comparative advantage. Very interesting theory. The theory is telling that company should work on the relative advantage of its own. Relative advantage means the advantage which the company has among other competitors. And it applies to multiple economies as well. For example, Pakistan must work on the relative advantage of its own, and the rest of the services must outsource to other countries. Yes? Yeah, relative advantage means advantage which is relatively to the competition. For example, if the Pakistan fabric quality is better and it's cheap, so it has to be made in Pakistan. If the marketing is good of American company, then marketing must be done by the American companies. If the logistics are good of Germany, then the German company must acquire to have the logistics services. So this is the concept of theory of comparative advantage. Write it down. Theory of comparative advantage. This is a very important concept. The outsourcing is started with this concept. Comparative. Theory of comparative. Theory of, मैं लिख भी रहा हूँ, बता रहा हूँ. Theory of comparative advantage. ठीक है, theory of comparative advantage. So what does that mean? Comparative means in comparison to other provider, product provider, service provider. Okay. So relative advantage and this comparative advantage. Relative advantage means related to other companies, and it is also the comparative advantage means comparing to other nations, other companies, etc. So when we say relative advantage, so we talk about the particular services. But when we say comparative advantage, so we can talk about the nation, we can talk about the economy, we can talk about in general. So this is the theory which is basically making a concept that if any company is more productive, then acquire services of that company. Do not acquire the less productive company. Why? Because they would never give you a good price. Very interesting concept. They would never give you a good price. If Bangladesh is making a good textile product, go to Bangladesh and get the product. Why? Because the product would be cheap. And why? Because their productivity is much better. Their competency is much better. The same happened with the football. Pakistan manufactures the football, and it is one of the best football across the world. Why? Because Pakistan has the relative advantage. And there could be multiple reasons for that. For example, our infrastructure is established, because since we have been making the football for so long, our infrastructure is established. Our human resources are expert. Okay, we have the already links, and the Pakistani company are consistent in their quality. That is why they are keep taking Pakistani football. Otherwise, they would never. So relative advantage is very important. Very interesting concept in which it says that go with your relative advantage. Don't manufacture everything. Manufacture the things which you are good at, and outsource the things which you are not good at. Okay? You cannot apply this same concept in education. Okay? You never apply that he is good at assignment, so give my assignment to him. No. This is unethical. It must be ethical practice. Business with a business agreement, you go with that, and it must be a commercial activity. Since it is not a commercial activity, so you cannot apply the same theory of comparative advantage to your advantage. ठीक है? आगे move on. There are multiple risks involved of outsourcing. So manager need to invest their resources, because whenever you allocate any task, outsource any task to any company, so basically there is a risk. Risk of what? Tell me. Risk of what? Of what? Yes, inconsistency, quality, very good. Or lack of analysis, competency, you may say, lack of competence. Yes, late delivery, very good. So that is not risk, that is positive risk. Positive risk, yes. Cost cannot be risk, because you only outsource by, especially you look at the cost part when you outsource. Yes, quality. So you see, there are multiple risks. For example, Vital Tea, you might have heard about the Vital Tea. So Unilever hired the distributor or partnered the distribution with the Vital. The Vital owner, the Unilever given the business to the Vital owner, and after some time, the business of Lipton and other brands. Unilever gave multiple business of tea to a Vital distributor. What happened after some time? The distributor started its own business with the name of Vital Tea. I am repeating myself again. Unilever tea brand was being distributed with the Vital Tea owners. After some time, after few years, a decade in fact, the owner has started its own brand with the name of Vital Tea. So you see, there is a risk band. Yes? No. It's suppose they let the Unilever know, but that does not make any difference because you are competitor now. So this is very important. There is a risk. There is a risk. So it is very important that how you manage it, because you see Panadol is being made by the other companies, Surf Excel is being made by the other companies, and there are so many products which are being made by other companies. So you need to look at that your recipes, your instructions, your confidential agreements, confidentiality between you and your partner is not out, leak. There must be a great trust between you and your partner. And yes, and not only MOU, it must be the staff level agreement, multiple agreement, SOPs must be defined, everything has to be, so that the quality must be consistent. Plus you need to audit the supplier of the services or the product multiple times. You need to audit them. So for that you need a force, multiple managers for that, supervisor for that, so that they can ensure the quality, delivery and confidentiality of your product and services. So this is a very important point. Next. So over here, over here you see this is a table which is also very important. It is telling you the advantages and disadvantages. So there are multiple advantages of cost savings. Expanded more. Cost saving, one of the very important advantages is cost saving, because whenever you give the services to another company, so what happens? You save the cost. How come you save the cost? Any idea? Whenever you outsource any service or product, yes. Very good. Very good. Here we need to go into the details to understand his point that it is not about the salary only, it is about the compensation, it is about your brand as well. Because you say you are a good company, good employer, but you are not giving anything else other than 100,000 salary. So salary is not everything. There are other benefits. So you see there's a cost related to the other benefits. So when you hire the contractual employee or you outsource the whole function to someone, so you cut this cost, benefit cost. Plus there is a maintenance cost. There is other utilities cost. This is also saved. Because if there is no function, most of the company has outsourced its marketing department and its HR department. HR especially training part, they have outsourced. Why? Because of these reasons. Because they cannot have the very, very high pay employee. Instead, they hire a consultant who can provide the training once a year. So they do not have to keep the employee for the whole year, they just pay once a year. Because of this, the consultant charges are very high. Because consultant knows that they are hiring once and they require the people like me. So the both are getting advantage. So that is the relative advantage over here. You see, there is a relative advantage. The trainer is charging premium and the company is hiring an expensive trainer. Why? Because they know that they both are getting advantage of it.
Sir, is it outsourcing creating more business? Like आपने अभी कहा कि बहुत सारी companies पूरे marketing departments और HR departments का outsource कर रहे हैं. तो वो एक और businesses को create नहीं करे वो opportunity कि लोग अपने marketing side का business
बिल्कुल ऐसे ही
provide करें.
बिल्कुल in advertising agencies, you might have heard about advertising agencies. So you see there are too many agencies are working over here. There must not be more than few companies who have their own advertising agency. They don't have. Okay? Because they require the specialized people and you do not want ads all the time. You want ads once a year, twice a year or thrice a year. I'm talking about the big companies. They want ads thrice a year, that's it. So why should they have their own advertising agency for that? So there's a lot of opportunity, Miss is correct. There's a lot of opportunity. You can start your own venture in which you provide the digital marketing, you can provide the HR services, okay? You can provide the training services, recruitment services, selection services. You can make your own softwares to select any professional, to check the applicant aptitude. You can make a software for that. Why? Because there is a lot of opportunities. Companies do not want these departments to run on their own payroll. They want it to be outsourced. If they are not right now, they will very soon. Okay? So there's a lot of opportunity.
Dependency भी बहुत ज़्यादा create है.
Yes, dependency. हाँ. देखिए, they don't mind if they are taking so many services from multiple companies. They don't mind. They don't have any problem because they can fire any company anytime. They are the boss. They are the paymaster. So when you have a good amount of money, then you have multiple choices. You have open market for you. So the companies know, agencies know that they need to give the best services so that the company would have the long-term relationship. So companies always have a high end. You see, first advantage is cost. The other is the gaining outside expertise. This is a very interesting point. Gaining outside expertise that comes with a specialization. Like the distributor, company hire the distributor. Okay? Company hire the sales professional. Company hire the technical people. Okay? Company outsource their services. So gaining outside expertise that comes with specialization. Like company hire the auditor. Outsource the audit part. Company get the consultant. So basically they outsource the consultancy services. They don't have their own consultant, they hire them. So you see outside expertise. When we say expertise, it means someone who has been in the industry for so long, but not on the company's payroll. So this is a very interesting concept. That's how you reduce the cost. As I just gave you the example of a trainer. Trainer is very, very expensive, you know. Very expensive. I can tell you, they charge in millions. Yes, and they want the venue of their choice. It must not be in the Karachi city. It must be at the northern area or something like that. Plus, they charge a big amount of money. When I joined Angro Foods for internship for 6 months, I witnessed 2 to 3 consultants over there. And they were top consultants of that time. And the company was paying. And in the HR department, there was only 3 to 4 people were there, only. And it was a huge company. They must have at least 5,000 employees. You see 5,000 employees are being managed by 4 to 5 people. What is this? It means that many of the services is being outsourced. Got it? So improving operations. There was a question from there. Miss, question tha aapka? Yes. Anyone who is marketing guru, very famous. Achha, see who starts his own company. Basically, the industry veteran, the people who have been serving in the industry, in the big companies, in the multinational company, at the age of 50 and above, they start their own company basically, and they are a very expensive employee who have the experience of multiple companies. So you hire that person for a particular period of time only. Yes, on the contract basis. Or you give business to his company. You don't hire that person, you give the business to his company. So basically they have their own companies, and you hire his company and you give the particular amount which is agreed. Improving operation and services. Your operation and services are improved. Because why? Because the company who you outsource are more productive than you. They have the better technology. Why? Because they are serving to multiple companies. So this is a very important point. They must be serving to multiple companies. So they are expert in their work. So you get the expertise of the company. Now you need to see that whether you have the dedicated supplier, or you want someone who is giving the services to your competitor as well. So yeah, this you need to see. For example, you can restrict your supplier of services or product that you cannot give the same to any of your competitor. You can restrict. Big company restrict it. But that is not always possible, obviously. For example, AC Nielsen, if you hire AC Nielsen and you say you will not audit anyone's retail if you audit our retail, this is not possible. Yes, you can go with the confidentiality agreement, but you can never say you will not work from now on. You will not work with any other company. If any company would say, it means they would say, okay, 10 billion is our revenue, give that money. If you stop giving our services to anyone, give that money. You will not work for anyone. Obviously, it is not possible for the company, so we only go with the confidentiality agreement. Okay, so we need to see what is the pros and cons to have the dedicated services agreement. Maintaining a focus on core competency. Core competency is what? Any idea?
Specialization.
Yes, your talent. Okay, your talent, expertise, skills you have.
Talent acquisition.
Exactly. Whatever you see, core competency, you guys may have core competency of skills, talent, capability. Okay, so these are the core competencies in which you are good at. Okay, the core competency, the same goes with the company. So company need to focus on their core competency. For example, they need to focus on the other key success factors. So they want to focus their activities towards there. Now the other services which are not as important strategically, so they outsource. So everything goes like this way: key success factors and the supporting services. So you outsource the supporting services to companies to ensure the key success factors are executing the way you want, or you are keep having the competitive advantage because of them. Accessing outside technology. You access the outside technology. For example, you get the SAP software, ERP, or the Oracle, or any other company, JD Edward, yeah, Microsoft Dynamics. You get the technology from them. You don't have your own software. You hire that company to give the consultancy or to implement the software in your company. You see, these are all the advantages. If you see disadvantages, you increase your logistic cost because you have to keep moving the stock from here to there, keep moving employees from here to there, so that you can audit, you can check the quality of your supplier. Loss of control, quality, delivery, etc. There is a little loss of control because you are not doing by own. So there is a little loss of control. Dependency, because the supplier can manipulate the information anytime. Yes. Yes. To some extent, it's difficult actually. See, they have the market reputation. If they do any bad practice, if they are involved in the bad practice like the blackmailing something, so it would be the rumor in the industry. It would be the talk of the town. So what happened? The other company would not hire them. So it's a very critical thing. They will not, businessman will never go like this, because businessman wants its company to grow. Businessman invest and he wants profitability for the long term. For the long term, no bad practices can give you success. Simple. Yes, miss? बिल्कुल blacklist. Loss of control, quality, delivery, potential creation of future competition. Like I just gave you example of Vitality. ठीक है? They have become competitor of Unilever, Lipton. Negative impact on employees. There is a negative impact of employees because employees think that our job is being restricted. ठीक है ना? And our compensation are not given the way it should. There is a less opportunity to grow. Why? Because company is not hiring the people on its payroll. It means the company is squeezing. The company does not want to invest on HR. There is a perception actually. It is not true actually, but it has an impression. Outsourcing has an impression. Remember always, has an impression. Risk may not manifest themselves for a year. So there is a chance that there would be no risk for years, but after some time there will be risk. For example, like there can be a threat of discontinuing of contract or increasing of charges like this. So this is possible. Next. Okay, let's move ahead and we do the discussion questions which may come in your upcoming quiz. Next. Okay, this is a numerical which we are about to do. इसको focus करो. अच्छा, this is an interesting problem. It is a factor rating scenario in which you select the company whom you should outsource. Okay, there are multiple choices always. There is a market open and there are multiple choices. So you select the company who has the higher rating on merit. Basically, you take the decision on merit. Now you see, this is a very critical task. There can be a under the table bribe is also possible over here. So you need to be very careful when you give the outsourcing agreement to any company. You need to pay close attention that the people who are involved are not taking any kind of money from the wrong sources. Okay, very important. So for that we go objectively, not subjectively. Okay, this is the best supplier, go for it. How many want this supplier? Sir, we want. No. How many people we are not interested? We are interested how many suppliers and who are they, why are they there. You see, these are the factor, and as many people involved, the decision would be better. For example, jury concept, the decision by the jury of the 12 judges are much better than the single bench judge or the 2 or 3 or 4. The same concept goes whenever you take a decision like this, that is a long term, because you are going to give the authority to any company to provide services to you. So if you have selected any company who is not good at it, who is not good at quality, who is not good at price, so what will happen? Your brand loyalty would be compromised. Okay? Equity would be much lesser. So you need to see on the basis of the criteria. So you see the criteria. You see over here. Question. Come to the question. Yes. Over here. थोड़ा सा मूव करें. अच्छा, rating provider selection criteria. Write it down. Rating provider selection criteria. This is the name of the tool we are about to use. This is a tool which give you the objective measure of any supplier. Its name is rating selection criteria. This is a selection criteria based on rating. Based on rating. You see, it's a mixed criteria. Okay? There's a people are involved, employees are involved of any company, but still it is an objective measure. Okay? It is not like I think. It is not perception. It is an objective measure to a great extent. Okay. National Architects Incorporation, a San Francisco-based designer of high-rise office building, has decided to outsource its information technology (IT) function. 3 outsourcing providers are being actively considered, one in the US, one in India, one in Israel. So there are 3 companies who the American company want to outsource its IT business. One is in US, other one is in India, third one is in Israel. So you see, this is the scenario which will be coming in your exam. Okay? And other data I will be providing you. But you need to know that how rating factor has to be used. National's VP Operations Susan has made a list of 7 criteria she considers critical. Now this is very important. She has made these criteria. So she has made these criteria. I recommend as a practitioner, as an experienced practitioner and an academician, that don't go with a single person, no matter VP or the president. Why? Because these criteria can be wrongly misused. For example, if anyone want to induct a particular supplier who are good at these criteria, so that particular supplier will win the contract because of this criteria. So criteria is very important. So there must be a team of experts who will develop these criteria. The criteria are: first criteria, reduce operating cost. Okay, first criteria is to reduce operating cost. So we need to reduce operating cost. If we hire a particular supplier, so would we reduce our operating cost? First is, write it down, operating cost. First is operating cost. Second is capital investment, the machinery, the capital investment. Third is skilled personnel. Fourth is improve quality. Fifth is gain access to technology not in company. New technology, ऐसे कह लें कि new technology. Okay, can create additional capacity, more capacity. Write it down, everyone. Excuse me. Yes. Aligns with policy, philosophy, culture. Very important. Because you need to work together. If their policies, philosophy and culture are different from you, then it will be a misalignment. Yes.
Sir, हमने ना supply chain में 10 C's of selecting a supplier पढ़ा. तो उसमें ये सब चीजें already mentioned थी.
बिल्कुल सही.
तो इसके basis पे क्यों नहीं हुआ यहाँ पे?
नहीं, you can select. You see, the VP Susan has selected the 7. If you will be the VP, you can select all of the 10. No problem. ठीक है? It's upon you. Aligns with policy, philosophy, and these are 7. So these are the 7 criteria. You see, you give importance weightage, which one is more important to you. Not every criteria is important. For example, cost is not very important. Why? Because we have a differentiation. We have the differentiation comparative advantage. Our comparative advantage is differentiation. People give us better price because of our differentiation. So we are not interested in the quality more. So you give the less weight to the operating cost. If your comparative advantage is cost, then you give the operating cost more weightage. I'm just trying to explain this concept. If you have a comparative advantage or differentiation or responsiveness, you want skilled personnel more than anything else. And you need more capacity because you are cost effective, you produce in bulk, so you want economy. So you go like that. Okay. Importance weight. The operating cost is 20% important. It is 20% important. It is capital investment is 20% important. Skilled personnel is 20% important. Improved quality is 10% important. Okay, so this is how you give importance to the different criteria. Ji? Okay, I'm just about to finish. Just give me a few minutes. Okay. So you see the weight is in points. I just made the percentage for you to understand better, but it is in percent. And it must not be more than 1. Remember for exam, it must not be more than 1. What would you do? You take a first company that is in US and you yes 0.1 0.2 0.2 you add all of the criteria and it becomes 1, not more than that. Yes. देखें I just mentioned it depend upon the function you are having. For example, you want to outsource the function which is not critically important for you, and the cost is more important for you because your comparative advantage is cost effectiveness.
Sir, criteria बहुत different नहीं है इसका?
Yeah, it is different. It can be different than this. It depends upon the strategy of the company. Okay, what will happen? You will give marks, that is 3, 3, 5. Out of 5, basically you are giving marks. Out of 5 you are giving marks. And what will happen? In total you see the who has won the contract? US. Yes. Why? Because objectively the US company is much better in these criteria. Objectively, the US company who got 3.9 marks has won this contract because they are best in these criteria. These criteria specifically. That is why I said make the criteria critically, and they are very, very important. If someone has made deliberately the criteria which are lenient to some supplier, so the contract would go to him. So very, very important that multiple professional experts, maybe consultant, depend upon the service or the product you are outsourcing. If it is a very important to you, then you incorporate more experts. And if you have panel of expert, then the criteria would be much better and the weightage would be much better. You see, weightage is also important. Criteria plus weightage, both are important. If you, for example, if you put the very important criteria and you give a very less weightage, what happens? Nothing? Yes. Yeah, basically, very good question. These marks are awarded by the operation managers, by the people who are responsible to outsource. Okay, it can be the procurement team, outsourcing team, it can be the team of professional. They are team of professionals. So out of 5, you see 3, 3, and 5. So telco got highest marks in operating cost. Likewise. Okay, clear?